Hi. So we just saw a piece of shit.
Several months after when it should have come out.
It should have never come out. Never. We just saw Project... Well, the little title thing, I'll say it.
If you look up there, we saw Project Almanac. If you went to the theater, we also saw Welcome to Yesterday, if it came out when it was supposed to have. I'm still not sure why they changed the title. I mean, it's a dumb title, but plenty of movies have dumb titles. They don't change them.
Yeah. It's doing the face recognition thing again. It's very distracting.
It's really jarring because just read a face.
Is my fucking forehead that big that it's reading as a whole face? My God.
It's a little...
Fucking the male pattern baldness is really killing me right now.
I wouldn't know.
I know, you fucking cocksucker.
That's too much hair.
Oh well, we're both better off than Brad.
He is gonna edit this though.
No, I doubt it. No, he might.
Yeah. So yeah, was Welcome to Yesterday, now Project Almanac, still crappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your basic found footage meets the butterfly effect.
I was thinking that the whole time.
Except, this is a movie that is so devoid of consequence that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
They keep changing things, and it... Alright, it's the same thing that happens with any time you have a time travel movie. There's always something that's changed, and it's always something that, like... There's always something that you always have a problem with. Like in Back to the Future, when he finally gets, back to 1985, and it's like, oh, well, you actually have no idea who this family is that you live with now, turns out, because you missed your entire life of it so far.
Yeah. They have that problem, only it's 3 months. Or a day at a time. But then eventually 3 months becomes the kicker. 3 whole months.
But it's like, they have no idea about things, but it never really comes up that that's a problem.
No, they're just rolling with it.
Like at one point, like at the beginning of the film, we find out that the main guy lives with his sister who records everything on her Nokia Lumia. I know because everyone in the movie has a Nokia Lumia and waves it in front of the camera with little to no prompting. This movie has a lot of paid endorsements.
Yeah. Some weird ones, too. There's a whole lot of IBC root beer in this fucking movie.
Red Bull has a very...
Red Bull has the best special effect in the whole movie.
It's practically a commercial.
Yeah.
Xbox, their time machine is powered by an Xbox.
Yes, but you can't actually, when you click OK on the little agreement, you're not technically speaking legally allowed to do anything to your Xbox.
They've definitely voided the warranty. They're not sending that one back.
Xbox will sue. It's gonna...
Gotta read that end-user agreement before you sign it.
Yeah.
Anyway. No, it's like, they set up at the beginning that, he lives with his mom, and she's unemployed. But, halfway through the movie, they get back from one of their jumps, and suddenly she has, a job that involves her, sitting at the table, in a suit, talking about, something, and, on her laptop is, all kinds of graphs and pie charts, and she's got, all kinds of spreadsheets with also more different graphs and pie charts on it. So whatever it is that she managed to land by them
pie charts.
By them going to Lollapalooza and coming back was a really good job. But then the next day, he goes back to Lollapalooza again and comes back again, and now she's unemployed again. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It takes the idea of the whole butterfly effect, but uses it for dumb shit. It's like, oh man, you got this girl to, you didn't kiss the girl that you like. Now your mom has a job. Oh, you went back and kissed her. Now she's unemployed again. That's like
the whole conflict
about the heaviest consequence that, at least for these specific people, that is about the heaviest consequence that ever comes up.
Yeah, and the whole thing, all the consequences that do have these ridiculous, stupid consequences. If dude had just, sacked up after the fact, he still probably would have gotten the girl. I don't think he had to go back in time. If he had just went, well, if I go knock on her door now and just kiss her, it'll probably be okay.
But
I don't think she would have been surprised or angry about him doing that.
No, but this one, this kid gets incredibly stressed throughout the course of this movie because they basically like this group of friends, they build this thing because his dad worked for DARPA and apparently buried government secrets in their basement. Which I'm starting to wonder, was he like a sleeper agent?
Yeah,
like
what was going on
died
there?
in a car wreck mysteriously. I'm kind of wondering if like actually this guy was like a Russian or some shit, and like
it's the Americans.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was just like there, like it's like, oh hey there, Jim. Yeah, I'm doing nothing, not sowing the seeds of discord or anything. Nope, not doing that. But yeah, it's just it's odd. But they build this time machine and they have a really short list of rules, and basically it's one rule: we don't jump back alone.
Yeah,
and
we record everything.
All of us have to go, and we always keep recording. There's your reason for recording. Except they're recording at times when it doesn't make sense, like sitting around having lunch, not talking about time travel. Shit like that.
Just they decide to record everything all the time from now on.
But yeah, they do a lot of like jumping around, but he uses time travel like you were just saying, like he could have just went and knocked on that girl's door and said, "Hey, sorry I fucked up the other day. Obviously we were having a thing. I love you." And called it a day. Or he just knocked on the door like, "Oh, hey Dave, what's up?" And like, just go for it.
Because initially, like, their time travel, they're doing these tiny little jumps and changing somewhat little things for personal gain. Minor personal gain for the most part. They kind of rigged the lottery, but...
And even at that, they couldn't. Yeah. They didn't do it right. So instead of winning like hundreds of millions of dollars, they just win like $1 million. Yeah.
But even then, it's not like they're going back and changing 10 years of time. They're going back a day.
Yeah.
So, minor consequences at best. Because even if something did drastically change, they wouldn't fucking know about it because they were only gone a day. But as soon as they take that 3-month leap back and go party, and then come back, and they only miss, 30 seconds of real time. Yeah. Just because they magically go someplace. Yeah, it didn't set up the chain of events very well.
Yeah, because while they're time traveling, they remember only what they went back to do. So, like, whenever they go back, it turns out they're like, oh yeah, they did apparently go to that concert and then went home? And all of that was actually stuff that happened for them, and then the next 3 months of their lives played out accordingly, except they weren't there for it. Like, yeah. I'm really confused. So, like,
it really made no sense.
After they time traveled back, like,
what did they change?
Were the other them still there in Chicago? At Lollapalooza? Because it said a couple times, like, they lived in Georgia. They lived in, like, Atlanta.
And that's the other question. It's time travel, not teleportation. So how the fuck did they get to Chicago?
It's that too.
Yeah, honestly, the more I think about it, the more this movie has holes in it that are just gaping and wide. If this was a game of Pitfall, we'd all lose. But yeah, there's no alligators to even jump on.
Because he starts doing shit like minor changes, like, to the point that, like, he's using time travel when there's no reason to. He just does because they have a time machine, which, I mean, I can't say too much against. I'm sure that if I had a time machine, I would do all kinds of shit like that. But, I mean, it's the sort of thing, it's like, oh man, I just got back from grocery shopping and I forgot to pick up bread. strap on my time machine, fuck going back to the store, I'll just teleport 6 hours ago back in time so that I can remember to grab the bread. And then he'll get home and it turns out that his mom was like Hitler. It's like, oops. It's like, how did that happen? Because you remembered to get bread.
I love the idea of him coming home and his mom just has the little mustache. And she's like the side-parted hair.
She's like girl Hitler from the Venture Brothers.
That would be fucking amazing. I would so be into that movie.
But it's insane shit. Like they go to Lollapalooza and come back once they work themselves up to like taking like a big drastic jump. And they spend the day at Lollapalooza, and then whenever they go back to the present, it turns out that like suddenly they're crazy popular at school, and like this ridiculous chain of events went down in which the main, like the star athlete of their basketball team got hit the night that they discovered they could
time travel. So now that kid had a broken leg, so he couldn't play in the division, like basketball championship. So they never went to state. So because of that, the people that were supposed to go to that didn't go to that. So some other girl, her father was a pilot who was supposed to have apparently taken the night off from being a pilot so he could go to the state championship game of the local basketball team, who he didn't have a kid on the team. He did have a son on it that was a different kid, not the kid who broke his leg.
Oh, okay.
But still, it's just as ridiculous still.
And so instead of that, he was flying a plane that he crashed and killed like hundreds of people and wildfires and robberies, and they're looking up all this shit. I'm like, oh, this is really tenuous.
Yeah, and it's when you would think in the time that they're time traveling, and then before that issue of that kid having a broken leg and things changing would have come up. But before that, it hadn't. They take this 3-month jump back and party for a couple hours. It does not work at all. This movie was fucking ridiculous.
But one of the biggest things I hated with it was the fact that at a point, the main guy sort of like starts breaking their cardinal rule of never jump alone, because if he didn't do that, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through this movie, then there wouldn't be any reason for it to have even happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, almost entirely through this movie, he decides to start going back to like fix things, fucking them up worse. Like he goes back and like, oh man, I made sure that guy didn't break his leg. But it was like in the newspaper and like everybody was like congratulating for it. Meanwhile, his friends are inside working on the time machines. I'm like, okay, well, they're gonna figure out that you jumped alone because obviously you're out fucking side. But besides that, like he screws up kissing the girl that he likes. So he goes back in time to redo that whole moment, except
acts completely out of character though.
He's suddenly acting like a fucking like psychopath and completely unlikable because he knows how the events are going to play out. So he's not like pretending it's his first time being there. Like, okay, remember what you said. I remember what I said. I remember what you said. I remember what I said. No, instead, like, he goes back and keeps, like, finishing her sentences and cutting her off and, like, responding to things with, like, Spider-Man-like reflexes to where it's unrealistic that, like, they're having a conversation and mid-conversation, like, he just reaches up and, like, catches a Frisbee and throws it back. I'm like, she's not gonna find that weird. Nope. Yeah. Or the fact that you're finishing every sentence she's about to say, that's not odd.
And she knows that you're a time traveler, because she's one too.
Cause yeah, but apparently if he time travels to the same spot he's already time traveling to, the new one takes place of the old one, I guess?
I don't know.
So did he finish out the rest of that day, or did he just do that part and jump back, and then the other one came back into it?
he must have, like, clubbed his other self over the fucking head with, like, a blackjack and stuffed him in a porta potty. And also, this is really weird for me to be nitpicky about all the shitty things that happen in this movie. When they go to Lollapalooza, I have been to Lollapalooza many times. It's not fucking like that. That
looked very clean, and everyone was having a great time and being super friendly.
Very clean. Everyone's having a great time. They're, like, playing in parachutes and all this stuff. And, like, yeah, generally speaking, at Lollapalooza, it's a lot of people standing in places waiting for bands to play and getting drunk and puking in the mud. And Lollapalooza's still fun, but it's not that fucking fun.
It's not PG-13 fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But, well, and
of all the bands that were at Lollapalooza that year that they were filming this, Imagine Dragons is the fucking band that they go see.
I also had a really dumb nitpick with the Lollapalooza scene, but I had a problem with Lollapalooza round 2, when he goes back to set things right and kiss the girl. In addition to, like, you know, all the stuff that they were doing there, like, they were walking down, like, having this conversation, and he kept cutting her off and, you know, all that.
Being a douche.
But the second time, whenever he goes back there to fix it and actually kiss her this time, he's wearing the backpack that has the time machine in it the whole time. And so, during part of their conversation, he's wearing that, and they're just talking, and he's being a dick, and then it'll cut away to something, and it'll cut back to them having more of the same conversation we've already seen, except whenever it cuts back, it's obviously just the footage from the first time around, because he's not wearing the backpack, he looks really, like, sweaty, like he's been there all day, and then it cuts away, and then it cuts back, and he's wearing the backpack again, and looks all fresh and clean, and everything again. It's like, could you not have filmed that one bit of dialogue again?
Nope.
Was it that fucking impossible? Could you just refilmed the entire rest of the scene, just not the middle bit? So suddenly, like, yeah, like, the time machine is gone, he looks like he's been there all day, he's wearing, like he's got, like, a couple, like, lanyards on for, like, VIP and, like, backstage passes and shit like that. Other him that came back to fix it, he didn't have any of that shit. It's like, it was just a very huge continuity thing, considering the fact, like okay, it wasn't something small, like, oh, well, in this scene, like, my hair's parted this way, and in the next scene it's parted this way, and in the next scene it's parted back, or something like that, or like something there's a scene where, like, Dave's not wearing his glasses or something. Like, it's not something small like that. He's wearing a goddamn backpack, like a big camping backpack. It'd be like it flashed over to Dave and suddenly he's not wearing a coat. I'm like, okay, where'd your coat go?
This is gonna be harder.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do this.
Okay.
Although you did bring up one of my big problems with found footage movies. Why does everyone turn off a camera in a found footage movie like this? Oh, wait, oh shit, is that still filming? Reach straight for the lens?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Who does that? I also have to ask, at one point in the beginning of this movie, when they first figure out time travel, they set off some kind of EMP that blows out all the power except for on the camera.
And their cell phones.
And their cell phones, yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like...
That's not how those work, right? I mean, I am not a scientist. I honestly didn't do that well in school at anything besides, like, literature and art. But EMPs kind of blow everything, right?
If it's on, it's not anymore.
Okay, yeah, alright. Yeah.
But yeah. And apparently, yeah, that thing can take out, like, all the cars in the neighborhood and the municipal power grid, just not their cell phones.
And the shitty little rinky-dink camcorder.
Yes. Yeah. Also, I am so sick with found footage movies. We do a lot of filming, obviously. Look up or down on this site. You'll see.
A lot of filming.
What in the goddamn hell is that noise that they always put into found footage things so that people know you're using a camera? That sounds like... No, not that. If I can borrow your bottle here for a second. Just let a little bit of this air out. what is that goddamn sound that is always used to make sure that I know someone's touching a camera? It doesn't sound like that.
You're really right. I love how angry you are about it. No, yeah, I
mangled your bottle, but I don't care.
It's okay.
Like, I'm gonna pick this camera up right now. Are you hearing a bunch of I'm rustling shit around noise? Like, no. Is that picking up? Because I don't believe so. I know there's going to be a slight sound when I pick it up because I bumped it against the fucking dash.
But not crunch, 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 crunch.
But yeah, it doesn't sound like someone's making fucking Rice Krispies on the other side of the lens. I don't know, that sound just bugs the shit out of me. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I get that. Like,
it's like, oh, here, hand me the camera. Oh, thanks.
Like, was someone, like, licking the microphone part while they're doing
like
that?
Like, that noise.
Do that for me again. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Lewis's love life. He's married, ladies. Sorry.
What are all these weird... What the fuck is that?
I don't know what we did to the camera, but there's all kinds of stuff popping up on the screen right now.
You guys can't see it, but it's doing like all kinds of like weird shit, like it's transferring files or something. I have no idea what it's doing.
It is probably time to upgrade this camera. We gotta find something decent enough and small enough that'll fit in the dash of the car for most of these videos, you know? Like
this is just like killing me so far, like this video.
We should just get like a really nice GoPro. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
And just fucking screw it into the dash of fucking Jillian's car.
But no, it's like, just the one thing, I don't care, like, all these numbers that keep flashing across my face, like I have some sort of, like, file transfer mustache. No, it's this, like, seriously, I wish you guys could see these incredibly, like, if you keep seeing us stuttering and stopping it, it's because, like, right now Dave has a targeting reticle on his face as though RoboCop's about to shoot his mouth off. Like, picture that scene in RoboCop where he's like tracking, just moving his pen around. It's doing that on my face right now. It's really distracting every time I look over here at you guys. The audience. I can see you, by the way.
It's picking the oddest parts of our faces to highlight, though. Because for a minute ago,
I thought my pocket was a mouth.
Right here, or then right here on me. And it's cutting you off like you're a fucking puppet.
It's the circumference of my hair. It's so big.
Yeah. I think it's just reading the beard as shadow on you.
That could be.
Yeah. We're really off topic.
So was this movie. It was.
Yeah.
It was a really dumb movie. But yeah, like they spend most of this movie without really any kind of lasting consequence.
There's nothing driving it. And I guess
it's like, oh man, I did something and now my friend's in the hospital. I gotta go back and change everything. Well, goes back and then it's like I gotta get back to the hospital. Like, why? He's fine. Nothing ever happened to him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
And all that shit only starts in the third act of the movie. The first act of the movie, I mean, it's somewhat engrossing because at least they're building this fucking machine and experimenting and stuff. It's still riddled with flaws and like, not great acting, and they're not very... You don't really give a fuck about these kids.
Yeah, shit, the kids in the Explorers built that thing in half the time.
Yeah, but the whole second act is... It's just everything's fucking hunky-dory, and they're time-traveling, there's no consequences, and things are going on. And then the third act is just like, okay, now here's all this tension. It's like, you gotta build to that shit a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
It's just like suddenly the kid is always sweaty and out of breath and doesn't know what's going on. And I notice about the time that things start getting too real, he also stops wearing his glasses entirely.
I think that started happening towards the second act where it's just like, I think that's this is the nerdy kid who's nerdy because he wears glasses and talks science terms. Loosely, but really, like, that's a good-looking dude. In any other fucking like teen movie, he'd be the heartthrob dude. Like, the fucking chubby best friend should have been the fucking lead in this shit.
Yeah, it was one of those things like.
And his two sidekick best friends. I mean, a Jew and an Asian. Science geeks. Which, admittedly, yeah, probably, but at the same time, why'd you have to go there?
Well, and it was the sort of thing, though, with this movie that bugged me, was the fact that you're supposed to believe that he's thoroughly unappealing and, like, nerdy and, like, no one likes him except for his two friends, because that's what the movie tells you. But
there's nothing terribly unlikable about him.
No, he's actually, he dresses just fine. He can hold normal conversation. He's, not an unlikable person. They act like, oh, no girl would ever like you. Like, he's in really good shape.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, is like, he's unappealing because they told you, now don't like this guy for his looks. He's a nerd. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this movie. Oh, man. I right before we went in the theater, I got on Rotten Tomatoes.
She's all that, whenever they say, don't believe that she's a hot girl. Check out those glasses and that stupid haircut. Who puts a ponytail on? She's ugly. Takes her glasses off. Damn!
It should be fine.
Turns out that was all that was holding her back. Buying contacts.
So this is what the one thing I'm gonna have to, I gotta see if you found this, because I just kind of breezed through the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, and 4 of them called it sexist and misogynistic. Did you find that in there? Like, at the beginning of the movie, the nerdy Jew best friend is objectifying women for 5 minutes straight, but I mean, he's a 16-year-old nerdy kid. Didn't we all do that shit? I mean, is that really misogynistic? He's just saying that chick's hot.
I would say that probably comes into play from the fact that this guy blows his chance with this girl that really liked him, and then when he tries digging himself out of that hole, he actually buries himself even more, because he tries explaining why he didn't kiss her, and that just pisses her off even more. So then he goes back in time to do it right in order to land her, and then whenever he goes back forward in time, he's like, oh man, I don't know if that worked. I'll try calling her, and then her phone rings in his bedroom. It's like, what? And then she comes walking in, just wrapped in a towel, and then apparently they bang all night.
Yeah.
So I can see where they might have some issues with this, because he obviously knows that this was not the right way to do this, but he did it anyway.
Okay, so that's where it's coming from.
I can see it. I can see it from that angle.
I just see that as douchey in general. Because I don't see that as that guy or the movie itself necessarily objectifying women, because oddly enough, that girl is one of the most intelligent, likable characters in the movie, even though you still kind of hate her a little.
But yeah, I mean, I can see it seems like it's less that it's objectifying them, and more the fact that
she's the prize.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, oh, well, I didn't get you that way. Well, let me go back and try again. This time I'll nail it and you. But again, that's another one of those scenes where it's really confusing that no one realizes what he's doing, because
he's just stammering did we have sex?
Yeah, again, they're time travelers, and they know that he has 24-hour access to this machine, in account of the fact that it's in his house. He owns it. But after that scene where it's he comes back and calls the phone, and then she walks in a towel, it's like, oh my god, you're here. It's yeah, why wouldn't I be? So are we dating? Yeah, we're and I've seen you naked. Yeah. Have we had sex? It's David, of course we have. I mean, obviously, yeah, because of all the times and he's acting like he's all of this is brand new information to him. And not once does she stop to ask, wait, did
you time travel?
Because it seems like you don't remember any of this actually happening.
Yeah. The last 3...
And she's talking about things
I'm trying to put it together in my brain how that time frame works, and it still doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't. But
it doesn't...
But it's she's still asking him questions oh, and remember, we're still on for that thing tomorrow, right? And he's yeah, what thing? It's It's yeah. What time is it? It's
know.
like, David, you're really forgetful. It's like you don't remember anything. It's like, oh, my dad loves all those conversations he has with you. He's like, yeah, all the times I've
Talk to your father.
to your dad. It's like, how are you not getting this woman? He went back in time so he could nail you.
I honestly don't think he went back in time to nail her. I think he had better intentions than that.
Oh, but you know he was throwing D.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, can you blame him?
I mean, you might as well reap the rewards, am I right?
Yeah.
High five, movie.
Like,
Good job.
I can travel in time. Suck my dick.
Like, because I don't remember you doing that. Good.
Oh, Jesus fuck.
It's not until way
It's still
later.
January. It's still fucking January. That's
Yep.
that's why we saw this shit. Oh my god, and next week...
I was going to say, February doesn't sound any better.
No, it doesn't. February's looking rough this year.
February is the return of movies that should have already been out.
Seventh Son! Finally! Been waiting like 3 years for that shit. Fuck yeah! Or Jupiter Ascending. Princess and the Dog Boy? Bridges and the Sword. Boy.
I think in the Jupiter movie, I think she can control bees. I seem to remember that in one of the trailers.
No shit.
Yeah, it's like she can control bees.
Oh my god, I wish I still did drugs.
I don't know. I think that movie does drugs.
I haven't done... Oh my god. I don't even know that I'd want to do drugs ever again, but fuck, when I hear shit like that, it really kind of... My brain just goes, like, goes back to that part of my youth. It's just like, fuck yeah! Like, it's a phase I'm glad I'm out of for...
Like, you want to get really high and watch the movie, or you want to get really high so that you think that you can also control bees? Either or, really. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I don't regret for a second not doing drugs anymore, but part of my brain just kicks that in. It's just like, oh, that would be fantastic. And then the part of me that's almost 32 just goes, no.
You like looked and pointed at the clock when you said that. Did you time that out?
Well, my birthday's in 2 hours.
Oh. Well, I was confused why you were
I was checking the time.
Oh, yeah, well, that's why I was really confused. I'm like, it's like, well, according to this, it's,
I'm sorry, that's just where my brain went because...
Carry this one. Yeah, I guess I have been alive for, like, 2,736 hours and 82 minutes. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why I put 82 minutes and not another hour and 22 minutes.
I don't know either, but is that actually... I want to know if your quick math there just adds up.
I have no idea.
Someone in the comments figure out Brian's math and see how old he thinks I am.
Turns out he thinks you're 5.
Probably.
2,000 hours doesn't seem like that long.
I'm this many.
That doesn't seem like a whole lot.
That's not that long at all, I don't think. I mean...
Well, one day is 24 hours, so that'd be 1,000 days. So roughly,
I'm like this many.
Roughly, that'd be like 3 or something.
Yeah, a little over 3 years old. Awesome.
I should have said more like 23,000 hours.
That just makes me feel fucking old.
Does that seem like a long time?
It really does.
Because it is.
Fuck.
Mission accomplished. Welcome to You're Old. Project Almanac.
What a fuck you. Oh, man.
Should we touch on the end of this movie?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we should. Fuck it. We've given you... I'm not even going to say spoilers in these videos anymore because it's pointless. We're going to ruin every movie for you.
We will.
Till we quit doing this shit.
Yes. And even then, I'll just dial a number and maybe it's you and be like, this movie sucked. I saw it and this happened. Blah.
Oh my god, we should add that to the Patreon thing. Random movie ruining phone call from Brian Lewis.
Yeah, in like 10 years. I will call you 10 years from now and ruin a movie that just came out.
At any point, Brian will call you at like 1 in the morning after a midnight screening. Just be like, this is how it ends, fucker, and hang up.
I just saw this and I didn't like it.
We're gonna offer that for like. We do need a $25 a month area, I think. So, Brian ruining movies. Let's just put you all on fucking speed dial.
It's like, and today I'll dial beep boop beep boop beep boop beep. Nope, not a fan. Just happened to call like a doctor's office. It's like, yeah, well, Avengers 2 sucked.
I want to make this happen so bad.
I doubt I'll make that phone call because it looks really good.
It does look amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna call Ryan tomorrow and see if we can add that to the Patreon page because that abuses me wild.
It's like, yeah. We'll take a look. Yeah.
We just gotta get Brad's approval. I don't think Brad will say no.
Here, sign this out.
If Brian wants to call fucking strangers in the morning, that's fine with me.
Do I have to do it? I'll be really tired. It's like, no, you don't have to. He'll do it. Like, oh, all right.
Oh, man. Okay, so the ending of this... I'm still thinking about you calling.
So the ending of this movie... is pretty bad. Like, he decides that in order to fix everything, he has to go back as far as he can go, which luckily, all of this started with him seeing a video of himself from 10 years ago, and he was in it, present day him. So he goes back to that day because luckily, the battery on that thing can push their time travel backwards 10 years. So, you know, that works.
The battery they dig out of a hybrid car.
Yeah.
Instead of just plugging it into the fucking wall outlet.
Because, you know. And goes back there, meets his dad, and his dad's like, son, you figured out how to build the time machine. He's like, yeah.
Immediately recognizes him.
It's like, are you okay? He's like, I will be. Go say goodbye to your son.
You're gonna die.
It's like, yeah, he said it in a very, like, you know you're gonna die sort of way. And then he proceeds to burn all of the information that he has about the time machine. And
then the time machine.
And then, yeah, like the central piece to the time machine.
Which, that thing, I guess, burned up pretty quick for being made out of metal.
And glass.
Yeah.
In a trash can fire.
It's whatever at this point in this movie, it doesn't matter. So he sits there and fades out.
And then picks back up with where we were earlier on in the movie, with him looking around and finding, like, the old video camera. Except now there's two of them, because obviously when he went back in time, he left the other one in the fucking past. I don't know why he kept recording himself fading away. Seems like he should have just
burned everything.
Yeah.
Pretty dumb for a smart guy.
Leave no trace, but he left that in the past. And it's like, oh, well, now we have, like, two cameras. Like, okay, well, let's turn them both on and see what's on them. And he turns the one on, and it's the beginning of the film when they find that camera the first time, and apparently found it and immediately pressed record. Which is not what happened.
Well, and even better than that is because that was recording on her fucking phone. So how did that get on the tape that's in the camera?
Yeah. Also, they haven't touched these camcorders in 10 years.
Fully charged.
Full charge. Picks up right where they left off. So then obviously he apparently watches the tape and finds out about, and we time traveled.
And all the fucked up things that happened.
Which is all stored on one tape from a camera from 2004. Which, I don't care what sort of format. Like, I don't remember what all
mini discs
we had. Like, mini discs, or if it was recording on, like, high 8, or maybe it was some super fucking fancy, because it was gigantic for a 2004 camera.
I don't think it was a 2004 camera.
Well, but even still.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care if it was some, like, crazy, cool,
Something
ultra expensive model that had a fucking hard drive in it. Hard drives weren't even that big in 2004.
No, they really weren't.
Like, not the kind that would fit in that sort of fucking camera. So, you know, whatever. But yeah, apparently they filmed the entire thing on one diskette or cassette or fucking memory stick that Sony uses. Yeah, filmed everything. But yeah, it seems weird that it had a recording of events that the camera wasn't pointed at or recording.
Yeah,
but it's whatever. And then
this movie, it gets to the point where that's not the worst fucking hole in it.
But yeah, he apparently, like, they must have recorded some sort of information that he knows, because then it goes back to, like, them redoing a couple scenes that happened before they started time traveling. Like, he gets his backpack mixed up with some other girls, and she becomes, like, his love interest of the movie. And that still happened, and he was taking it back to her and, like, starts cutting her off and finishing her sentences again. It's
being
like,
a douche, yeah.
It's like, so you remember this moment.
Oh, no, it's because he watched it on the tape. Yeah.
So, again,
saw all the consequences.
So he's done all of that, and, you know, remembers when she mentioned, you know, obviously he was filming the part where she mentions that, you know, she's liked him since the first day they met. So he goes, you know, now he's back at the first day they met, and he's going to do better, because he saw how he'll fuck up everything if he doesn't. And he's still using time travel to nail this girl.
I'm starting to get the misogynistic thing now.
Yeah. Like he could have gone back and set everything right and had that never happen. No, he went back.
Maybe I need to translate in my brain douchebag to misogynist. Like, and make that a permanent translation, and then I might get it a little more.
Like, throw that bit about the whole, like, Lollapalooza take 2. Throw that past Sarah. See how she feels about that. That he went back to do it again so that they could totally bang this time, because he blew it.
Well, like I said, I don't think his intention was to totally bang.
No, his intention was to kiss her, and then they could hold hands and hug sometimes.
With that kid, I think that makes sense.
We kissed at Lollapalooza. Never mind this awkward boner I suddenly have in public. Sorry.
I still get those.
It's like,
I should have kept that to myself.
But David, you had that boner when you walked over here. It's like, yeah, it's a fear boner too.
I'm so really afraid and rock hard.
It says, So, that was...
It was a fucking god-awful piece of shit.
Yeah. I also was really curious. Like, I know that they pushed this one back, but I still can't figure out why, because it doesn't seem like whatever they... Like, if it was to change something, I don't know what they did to change it, because it still didn't come out that great.
It was honestly probably like they just couldn't find a weekend where it was up against something just as shitty. They wanted this to be on a weekend where only shitty movies came out, so they could be like, we were number 3 at the box office. You know, because like if this came out like last summer, it'd been like number 10 with, you know... I think it was literally a matter of like, well, if there's nothing else playing, it might make its money back.
Yeah, because I think even that As Above, So Below, that thing was terrible, but I think it still hit, like, 3rd at the box office that week.
Yeah, because of the week it was released.
Based on everything else it came out with.
Yeah. And this time, it's the fucking, you know, they throw shit out this time of year.
But soon we'll be out of the garbage dump here and...
into the fucking amazing... The Summer of the Geek this year. I mean, I know we could have said that several times in the past couple of years, but this year...
It's a good time to like comic shit.
The year of the... Not even comic shit, though, because, yeah, we get Avengers and, yeah, Superman v Batman, which... I don't know. Fantastic Four.
V Wonder Woman, V Cyborg, V
Aquaman. Yeah. Fucking Justice League .0. But, I mean, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be awful, but at the same time, I'm still going to watch it. Maybe it'll be... Maybe... I do think Zack Snyder is a capable director when someone controls his fucking ass.
When they don't, he destroys New York or Metropolis.
Yeah, we got that, and we got Fantastic Four. And those are basically the big superhero movies this year, right? I mean, well, we have...
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, yeah. But I mean, also, fucking Fury Road this year, man. Of all the movies that are coming out this year, Mad Max Fury Road is the one I am most looking forward to right now.
Mark that on your calendar, folks. I'm sure at some point we'll come back around to, God damn it, this movie pisses me off. It's so disappointing.
Yeah.
I notice that usually happens. Like, you're like, it's like, man, I'm really looking forward to this movie. And it comes out and it's like, man.
With the exception of some things, like Pacific Rim, million times better than I was hoping it was going to be, and I was hoping for a lot, so.
That's true.
You never know. You're standing outside. We've been ranting for like a fucking hour. We should get the hell out of this car.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts?
Don't watch Project Almanac.
No. Don't.
This movie commits one of the big cardinal sins of movies, but it also gives you a reminder of how this is supposed to work. It's a time travel movie that references another time travel movie. They could have went with a lot of different options. They chose Looper.
Oh, there was
Watch
also
Looper.
There was also Bill and Ted reference in there too.
They were watching Bill and Ted. Watch Bill and Ted.
Yeah, watch it.
I actually watched that a couple months ago.
It holds up fine. It's fun.
It's really stupid, but it's still really watchable.
Yeah. Watch any other time travel movie that's. Yes.
You guys still review?
Yes.
Okay.
We've been in here a while. We got sidetracked by a lot of things. Apparently, I get fear boners.
Well, this has been me, Brian, Fear Boner Dave.
Oh, that's gonna stick, isn't it?
Stick up like a fear boner.
Whatever, at least I'm not a slaver.
Hey, turn this thing off.